Hello everybody, my name is Sunny. Welcome back to Sunny Productions. Here we are with the more or less yearly series, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty yearly, I'd say. I've done one every year so far. I think I've actually done this is probably the fourth tips and tricks episode. But here's 5 tips for new players in some companies. Pretty standard rundown, I think. These videos always do well, and they're also pretty useful to people. So yeah, here we are. But before we get into this video, make sure you press that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 450 subs by July 5th. That is what, I don't know, like 8 days from now ish, right? Something like that. I don't know math. But with that, let's get straight into the video. So my first tip, this is a pretty new one here. It's use Simco tools. Now I've been pretty regularly promoting this website, but it is so good. So we got multiple things here that we can do. So first, it's the exchange function. Now, by the way, all of these work for both the Magnate server and the Entrepreneur's Realm. So don't worry about it. They all work the same. But you can look through here. There is every single item, and all you got to do is click on it. So I'm just going to click on apples. It's pretty standard. And you can see here, we have a lot of data on the screen here. And you might be wondering what this all means. So right in this corner here, we can see our current price. So it says 181. If we go over into the exchange, 181. So it's telling you the live price. It's also going to show its highest price and the lowest price within the past day, I think. Yeah. You can also see here its average price, which is about 1.85. So it's about 4 cents under market value right now, but that's all right. You can also look through here and see some more just stats, even though it might not really pertain to business. You can see how many orders have been done here, I think, in the past day. I think that's what that is. And then you can see the units, so you can see that 8 million apples have been sold in the past day, with the 8 million going with a value. Jesus, let me speak. My brain is completely going kaput here. But for the 8 million, it's worth $22 million, almost 23. So that's just a little bit more, basic information. You can also see all the latest orders. So these are all the people who have bought apples here in the most recently, I guess. You can also see the quantity that they bought and the price. If we go down here, you can see this beautiful, beautiful graph. And you can more or less just see how the prices and how many units have been bought. So you can look here, 9 million units were bought, 8 million down here. It's 7 million units, and then you can just see how the price is fluctuating between the highest price, the average price, and whatnot as well. If we look down here, this is a more historical price chart, so you can not only see the prices, but you can see the boom, bust, and more or less the economic cycles here. So you can tell we've been in a recession for a while. So down here it says recession, normal, boom, right here, and then we had what is it called? A challenge or a contest in this section. It's grayed out, and then we have another normal section back here. You can more or less just see how the prices fluctuate in different ways, so you can kind of find something, and it's a really good way to track. So if you're trying to do a lot of reselling, this is a great tool to use. So that's the exchange function. There's another one I want to show off here, and it's a profit and retail calculator. They more or less do the same thing, so I'm going to use a profit calculator since it pertains more to me. But you can go in here and you can click on any of these. I'm just going to use Corey. Then you have a couple things here. You have your administration overhead. So you can come over here, take mine. It is 11.18. So we're going to do 11.18%. I have I can't remember here. It's in simboosts. 3% production bonus. And we're just going to leave it like that. So you can put in all your information that you need, and then you can see how much money you're going to make through the exchange and through your contract. So obviously we can go through everything. Since I'm doing a lot of mining, we're going to come over here, and you can see everything. So right now I'm mainly just producing minerals and bauxite, and you can tell just through here that I make $500 an hour with a level 1. We come over here. In fact, quality 2. You can see this. If we go to the factory, which is what I'm also producing, you can come over here and you can see the prices and whatnot here, so you can tell Like for the aluminum, I'm making $153 an hour, and yeah, it's not too bad. It's a pretty nice feature to have. So yeah, I really think people should really use Simco tools. Jesus, man, it's early in the morning. You can tell 10:31 down here. But there's also a bunch of other features like realm data. You can see like the amount of players currently active, where they're located and whatnot. It's a really fun tool just to kind of look at. At least you could. Oh, countries. Here we go. So yeah, this is a pretty fun little thing to look at. I think you can look at the economic phases. Has a little pie chart here. You can look at all of them. It's pretty interesting. You can look at the amount of buildings. And this is just, again, like a bunch of data all spread out here. I think most of us that play the game, we're pretty nerdy. We like the stats and whatnot. So this is just really fun just to look at in general. So I think this day the servers were down because I don't know why it would be like this. But you can just kind of look through here. Obviously the game's been on a little bit of a downtrend, which kind of sucks, but what can you do about it? You can tell here 26,000. I think this is when it started first tracking, possibly. Not too sure about that though. Obviously we've seen it up at 30,000 before, so we've lost 6,000 players over the past couple months, which a little alarming. Hopefully we get some new stuff in the game here pretty soon. We have a Q&A. I'm going to be really excited to ask some questions, or I'm getting plenty of them written down. But that's besides the point. So yeah, Simco tools, really interesting thing to use. Really simple to use. There's a new restaurant management for some of the more experienced players that just came out. You have to download it. I got it downloaded. It's pretty nice. I just don't use restaurants, so I don't have a purpose for it. But on to tip number 2, and that is read the newspaper. This was in my last one, but it's even more important now. We have several different things on here that we use. So if we come in here, you can see a bunch of different charts, and you're probably wondering what these are. So let's just look at this one. This is a research update. This is how much. So we look here. Here's the price of the research, different researches. We have every single one. You can kind of cross them out if you want. Boom, boom. It's great. Let's just look at mining research because that's what I do. Very similar to Simco tools, but it's a little bit more front page, I should say. It's a bit easier to access maybe. So you can see the more or less the price and how it's clearly been going down a little bit because of our session. You can also see up here prices for all of them have started to decline. You can kind of look up in that top corner. If we look over here at the refinery, I believe, maybe rocket fuel and carbon fiber, you can see how the prices have been fairly stable, and then you can also see how many have been sold in the past month or so. Yeah, past month. So you can tell it's been sitting right around 40 million units sold per day, with the price really staying around the 31 to 32 range. You can also look down here at the carbon fibers and whatnot as well. Can't really tell. It's actually been peaking up here a little bit, but it's staying relatively in the 40 million range there. You can look up here, you can see crude oil, the methane, and it's all pretty similar. They're pretty easy to look at, but there's another thing that is also pretty important, and that is the weekly simboost winner. So if you look here, you can tell that 100 weekly simboosts are awarded to a random company every week. Got a cat walking in here. And then we also have 300 that you can win monthly. Now, the odds of you actually winning this are somewhat slim, but it's also really fun, and it's a good way maybe to get that extra simboost you might need. So I always say just come in here, look at it. It's really fun to do. I've never won it because I've never actually really done it. I've never needed to really, but it's pretty entertaining, and I think it's important just to look at, especially for new players. It could be a great way to get some free simboosts. So yeah, next tip number 3, it's use the help chat. Now this one's pretty simple. It comes straight out of the tutorial here. You can obviously see the help chat, but it's super useful. I don't think people use it enough. You can tell here that we have a bunch of people talking to each other right now, and it's just really easy. Ask any questions you have on there. I guarantee you someone within a couple minutes will answer that question thoroughly for you. So I really encourage you guys to use it. So use achievements for your advantage is my next tip. It's tip number 4. You come over here to the achievement center over here. achievement center. I don't know, that's really what it's called. The achievements tab, there we go. And you can tell we have a bunch of different achievements, and you're probably going to be a little overwhelmed. I know, sometimes it's a little scary. But if we look right here, you can just see a couple of them that I really think you should look at. So first we have the builder one. This is pretty normal. If you've seen my first 24 hours video, you're going to be pretty familiar with it. But there's one, yes, the architect achievement. This one is super simple to get $100,000 right off the bat. In fact, it's pretty simple to get to level 10 too. Just set a plantation down, get it to level 5, and you'll get $100,000. That's a pretty decent profit. I think you make around $40,000 in a pretty quick amount of time. I think it's pretty useful, especially when you're right at the beginning. Also, look at the scientist achievement. Depending on the price, you can make a bunch of money. The startup one is another great way. I don't know what my cat wants here. She's wanting something. I don't know what. If you get to $500,000 worth of bonds, you get another free $100,000. You can also look here. You got 50, 20, and 5,000. This is a great way just to get some free money. I guess maybe say free, but it's a good way just to make some easy profit, I'd say. And it's it's also kind of fun, I guess. I don't know. It's fun seeing that $100,000 just come into your bank account without you doing too much, especially with something like the startup achievement here, where all you got to do is get to 500,000, which is pretty easy, I'd say. I mean, most people get to that within the first week or two, I'd say. So, and if you're not there, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But I think it's just really fun. And finally, tip number 5, my last tip, but certainly not the least. It's use simboosts wisely. I think people really use simboosts the wrong way, and that's to rush maybe a building like a mine. I've seen this a lot where people will rush their mines and whatnot, or their quarries, or their oil rigs, and I'm telling you, don't do that. Especially if you're prospecting, never do that. It is a huge waste. The odds of you actually getting a good abundance after rushing it, it's slim to none. I don't think it's ever happened to me personally when I've done it, especially in the beginning when I really didn't know what simboosts were for. I also say don't use it to get your free 10,000 or whatever it is. Don't do that. It's a waste. It's 40 for 10,000. That's what, 4 days worth just to get $10,000. You can do things that are way easier. Like I said before, the achievement one, you don't have to use any simboosts and you can get 100,000. Depending on how much you have, I mean, you could spend it on some of these. I really don't think you should, or if you do, I think you should at least wait until you're a bit more set up. But here's the things you should spend it on. I don't know how. Man, I'm really losing my words right now. But that's not the point. If we look here, you can see that you can unlock different construction slots. So there's actually the first one here, which I've actually unlocked. It is 50 simboosts. This one's 100. Then I think it goes up to 500. Yeah, 500. But it gets progressively more and more expensive. But I just think overall it's really important that you get these unlocked, especially at the beginning of the game, just so you're able to expand quicker and without restriction. But yeah, that's really what I'd say you should use it for. Don't really use it on this stuff, I don't think. I wouldn't spend it on collectibles either. I think you're able to still do that. Collectibles exchange. Yes, so you can use it also on collectibles. I really wouldn't do that. I don't know. Maybe if you're really into collecting different things, then you could. But for me personally, I don't think it's a really good way of getting or using your simboosts. It might be a good way of getting simboosts, but obviously now you can tell they're pretty expensive for a Q9 Apple. It's 500 simboosts, wood 500, 500, 300, 200, 120. You can just tell it's pretty difficult to get that many really within a quick period of time. I don't think it's really worth it. I don't think it's worth your time. So yeah. But I think with that being said, I think we've gone through my 5 tips. Hopefully these helped you just a little bit. If they did, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment any of your questions if this video didn't help you, I guess. But yeah, without further said, I'll see everyone later. Peace!